TikTok, and I'll be in my Facebook group, the 6-Day Blanket group. Sorry, I just went right from eating to doing this. It's 9 o'clock at night and I'm fired up. What kind of person is awake doing stuff like this at 9 p.m.? Me. Let's see. Hello. I bet all my followers are in bed, except the Australian ones. They're just getting up. How is... Oh, my sister's here. Are you crocheting, Amy? I need to make an appointment for new glasses. I am terrible about this. I just wait until it's at a ridiculous point of ridiculousness before I will go get new glasses. I don't know what the heck is wrong with me. I'm a weirdo. Okay, it is September. Oh my goodness. It is September 10th, and I have started 2 6-Day Star blankets, and I have only done so here's the thing. I decided that I'm just going to work on one blanket a day, because people want to see day 1, day 2, day 3. But if I go day 1, day 2, like yesterday I did day 2, I did a little bit on the star, I did a little bit on the superstar. So then it's like, it's going to take me 12 days because I'm splitting the time a day between 2 blankets. So, I don't know if it really matters, but it really does seem like people are invested in the whole 6-day aspect of this pattern. So, oh my goodness. Something just flew across the screen. I don't know what's going on. Did I plan that? I don't know. It says pin your goal so that more people will notice it. Pin. All right. I pinned my goal. I also set up a poll, and where is that poll? So when you click on the poll, it will come up with all the different questions that people ask. Like they ask, what are you making? What yarn is it? Da 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 da. Hi, Andrew. Andrew's still up and on TikTok. Hello, queens. I don't know why I love when people call me that. Somebody called me the crochet queen in one of their TikToks one time, and I was like, oh my gosh, people think I'm a queen. All right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get started because I'm ready. I am ready to crochet. Crochet. Yeah, if you don't like the TikTok view, go on to one of the other platforms and watch me there. I'll be in landscape on the other platforms, and oh, I guess I have to turn it on. Let me see. Amy thinks she's the queen. She's just like always the big sister, you know. Is it gonna? Yes, it came right on. Yes. Yes. Here it is. Isn't it so pretty? I mean, I gotta say, it's a very pretty. The colors, I really like them. These are the colors I went with. I think I want to keep them organized. I think that's going to be better. I don't really know though. I guess it just depends on how they work out, but um these are the colors. I know, so cute, isn't it? I was matching this wallpaper. So I have 7 colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, I've done all 7 colors. So I think I'm just going to keep them in order. Okay. I think I'm Andrew says that's gorge. I would stop there and use it as a placemat. Um yeah, it's very pretty. I love it. I don't want to give it away. I don't know, maybe I won't. She's been waiting for like a year for this blanket, so maybe she forgot. I don't think she's on TikTok, so I don't think she's following me over here and knows like what I'm doing. Oh, the only thing is I do have 2 purples next to each other, so maybe not. I don't know. I kind of like it. I let's just stick with it. It works. So let's see. Where am I? This is all right. Before I do anything, let me open up the pattern and make sure I'm following the pattern because um, I have done a tutorial for the 6 days superstar already. So I'm not going to like really be doing like tutorial style so much, but when I do the supernova, I will, because I do think that I've never really done it every single row. It has all those different rows. So I think I will do that. Okay, hold on. I'm still looking for the pattern. Six-day superstar blanket. The only thing about working off the PDF is if I find an error, hopefully I won't find any errors. Okay, so I am on setup round 7, right? Yes, and next is 8. So this is where I left off. And I'm gonna flip this and not flip it, but rotate it. And I'm gonna start set up round 8 in a different valley. Oh wait, I am gonna flip because I'm doing Rigididge on top of all of that all of the other stuff. I'm doing Rigididge, so that means I'm flipping on the second double crochet round. I know, aren't the colors pretty? Okay, and then whatever dip you decide to start in, it's 1 over from the middle. Here's my skip 2. You don't start on this one, you start on that one. Okay, and then it's going to be standing front post double crochet. You're going to work the pattern exactly the same, except you're going to do front post double crochet and then 5 in the top of the center and then front post going down. So this is the row of 5s. 5, 5, 5. All right, so standing front post, and when you work front post, you're working around the post of the stitch from the front. Okay, whoops. This hook feels huge. Let me come in just a little bit here on YouTube. Three. Oh, I have a knot already. 4. That's the thing about deconstructing all those Ogos it's going to be a million ends to weave in because there's just so many ends. I understand why people want to tie magic knots. I want to tie them right now, but they're no good. I do have crickets outside. Yeah, can you hear them? I turned my fan off. I think it might be cool enough actually to open the window. I have to come out a little bit. 4, 5 in the peak. And then it's 5 front post double crochet going down. It's just exactly like the Superstar. I'm just doing an adaptation on this one round. And every time I come to this double crochet, I'm going to do it. But the rest is the same. 6-day Superstar blanket. Okay, so that's 5, and then skip these 2 in the dip, and then 5 going up. 1. Hi, Camille. How are you doing? Did you start school, my dear? Hello, Fan Amanda. Andrew, is Andrew still here? Camille is our niece. Hey, Mary Lloyd, I'm just now seeing your comment where you say you crochet at night. Skip 2 in the bottom. Amy says, I saw you march Friday. You looked fabulous. Oh, did you march? Was it band camp? Oh, they had a game. It sounds like the cricket could be in the room, but I don't think it is. Skip 2. I might have to weave some of these ends in because, dang, they're getting on my nerves. Okay, and then it's 5 in the top, and it's just into, oh, this is the one. This is the one where I did 6 because I made a mistake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. What the heck did I do? Okay, I got it. I fixed it and then I didn't understand. Okay. Skip 2. What's everyone crocheting tonight? Courtney Danielle says she's making her first blanket. Congratulations. Crochet is a wonderful hobby. Hey Amanda, how you doing? Queen size. Pat Jacobs says they're working on a queen size 6-day blanket. Y'all are crazy making blankets that big. Nothing at all. I put down the hook for the evening. I was working on motif flowers. Okay. One thing about flipping this and doing the ridgy didge, I notice it's not curling. Have you on in the background while I do stuff. Thank you, my dear. I appreciate you. I'm back on my green Maya's roommate's hat for Ethan. Just the last couple of weeks have been busy. Oh yeah, Maya's roommate's hat. I should make more of those. Somebody was asking me about if I was doing Hattober. Remember Hattober? Mazzy says I've got to make a 6-day star blanket. Yes, you do. Okay, that was set up round 8. How long do you think on average it takes? I'm a mom, so I feel like I keep not doing it because I feel like it will take a while. Well, it's not called the 6-day blanket for nothing. It can be done in 6 days if you like really want to finish in 6 days. But if you just want to work on it a couple hours a day, or pick it up and work on it whenever, that's fine too. It works up really quickly. Especially the star blankets are particularly satisfying because they get really big really fast. And then it's just like the last 2 or 3 days when it starts getting big, then it takes you like an hour to go around the whole thing. But doesn't that look pretty? Oh my goodness. I'm in love. I'm in love. All right. It's enough of that. Okay. So let's see. Setup around 9 is highlighted on the pattern because it's different. It's really different. And this is like the setup round for, so this is the superstar. The star, the superstar, and the supernova all start with these same 8 rounds. So if I wanted to just repeat, I could make a star blanket. But this is the superstar. So the way the superstar works is that I'm going to create little chain loops in these valleys on the next round. And then on the round after that, I'm going to create points. So it's going to have points in the dips. Okay, so it's going to end up having 14 points. And the way that it ends up looking like round, more round than star-shaped. Okay, so let's see. The pattern is written to be continuous and not change on every, not change colors on every row like what I'm doing. So you just have to do a little detective work to figure out where you're going to start. So if if I had ended here and slip stitched into here, and then it says slip stitch, so I'm going to start 1 over from the dip. All right. And I'm on the back side because I'm doing ridgy ditch. So not this one, not the center one, but this one is where I'm going to start. Okay, so it starts with single crochet, and I'm going to do a standing stitch and a slip knot on the hook. So I'm starting single crochet here. Fran Banan says the 6-day star was the first blanket I ever made. Aw, it's very beginner friendly. And then 5 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then 3 in the center. So one of the things that's a little bit confusing switching from the star to the superstar to the supernova is on this single crochet round in the peak, there's a different number of stitches every time. So the star has 4, but this one has 3 in the peak. So it makes it like hard to memorize. I still haven't memorized. Every once in a while, somebody will ask me, how many on the peak in the superstar? I'm like, I don't know. Unless I had just made one, I don't know. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going down. I'm sorry, 6. 5, 6. Okay, now I'm going to skip these 2 and I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, skip 2, and then single crochet 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, see, that's where I'm going to do a point next time. So I'm going to have a point like that. One, 2, 3, and then 6 going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, skip 2, chain 3, and then 6 going up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 3 in the peak. 1, 2, 3, and then 6 going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, come on. I have a knot. It's just excessive ends in this pattern, in this yarn. 1, 2, 3, skip 2, 6 going up. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so all the way around. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Skip 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 in the peak. 1, 2, 3. I have never been happier with a color combination in my life. It's, I think, the prettiest thing I've ever done. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Skip 2. So I made a little bit of a mess when I wrapped that stitch, but it's okay because we're going to work right over it. 2, thanks for following. 3, did y'all see I hit 10K today? 5, 6, now I can do playlists, so I can set up row by row tutorials for stuff. That's what I plan to do. Yeah, I hit 10K. 2, 3. I've been waiting because I really want to do those playlists. That's why you're the queen. Hear that, Amy? I'm the queen. Where are the like button when watching you live? I don't know. Just tap the screen. Tap, 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 tap. I'm going to have to weave in some of these because, man, no one wants to look at spaghetti coming off of the blanket. I don't usually weave as I'm going along, but I don't think I'm going to be ripping this out because I'm in love with the colors. Yes, ma'am. I did it. Actually, let me do this a different way. My sister thinks because she's older that she gets to be the queen and the boss. I just let her think that. They don't really bother me that much, but since I'm on a live and like I'm looking at them on the screen and I'm like, if I came across somebody's page and it looked like this with all the ends, I would be like, ooh, it would be anxiety inducing. Okay, so when you're weaving in ends, I always take the end down into the color that it matches. And then I go under the stitches, but see this loop here from the other, I go under that too. Okay. So I'll do that for a couple of stitches. All right. I'm also going under the purple one. Okay. And then I'm going to go take this under and I'm going to go to the other side of the work and I'm going to go back in the other direction. So that's what keeps it from coming out. All right. Is to go back in the other opposite direction. I mean, I reposted Amanda saying I have 306 followers on TikTok. I don't know how I rarely post. So you posted those half moon goddesses and I reposted them. When somebody tags me, I repost their video for them. I repost it, I save it, I share it, I do all the things. You're welcome. Thank you for posting it. I really appreciate it. I had of some members in the McKnitiverse the one day talking about the darning needles with the really sharp points, and they were all excited about them. But I don't like them. I don't like when it's too sharp. Like this one feels a little too sharp to me, so I don't really like how it feels. All right, there we go. All right, how about I do one more since I have the needle out. But what do you all think? Do you like the sharp darning needles or the dull ones? Stormy's World says, thank you for everything you do for us. I am so sorry I haven't been active in our groups, but I lost my MT brother to cancer, and I was his caregiver while battling lupus and pneumonia. First of all, you never have to apologize for how you participate in the group. Lack of participation. We are here for you when you are ready to come back. And also, I'm so sorry for your loss. It sounds really painful. Maybe doing some kind of memorial project or something will help you grieve. Amanda says, Doll, Randa, and Zoe says, I use whatever get the job done, but I liked the curved ones a lot. You know what? I don't think I've ever tried them. All right, is that better? Do we feel a little better? It's a little better, right? I'm having this like feeling like, okay, I made a clean spot. Now I have to do the whole thing. I don't use the magic circle to start off my blankets, as you all have heard me harp on that many times. So I like that little hole there, but if you don't want that hole there, here is one way you could close it up, is by taking the end of your yarn and going around under all the stitches and pulling it tight. I'm going to use this to close this little gap right here. Usually they don't bother me, but it's because I cut up I deconstructed a bunch of cake yarn, and so I have a lot of small pieces, and so that's why I ended up with a bunch of this one is just particularly bad. Not only is it a lot of like smaller sections of yarn, but it has knots in it. But weaving in ends is part of crochet. Frogging is part of crochet. Weaving the ends. I a couple of months ago for my birthday, my sister returned to me a blanket that I made for her children, for her grandson, back in like 2008. It was the original 6-day blanket. And it's been through 3 or 4 kids, been barfed on, pooped on, been through the washer and dryer many times. And, even the tassels on it are still intact. Even the tassels have not come off. I mean, it is 100% original. Nothing has come out. So I stand by this method. I stand by weaving in the ends. Like, it is just, honestly, I never imagined that blanket would go as far as it had and last as long as it did and be, something the internet was interested in. But, it did. And when you make something and give it to someone, you you never know how long they're going to keep it, if they're going to cherish it, and you want it to be available, you want it to be intact for a long time. And so weaving the ends and doing the detail work and the finishing work, it does take more time. But when you think about that blanket, how long ago was 2008? What was that, 15 years? So for 15 years, those ends stayed tucked in. And what did they take me, an hour to do? You know? Jer is 16, so it was for, it was for Jer. So I'm going to go around to the front. Yeah, I haven't really written an article or anything about that yet. I mean, I feel like I could write a whole book about it. That's enough. I got it. Okay. Does everybody feel better? A little bit better? Let's get on with the blanket. I know I still have ends, but here's what I'll do. I'll stop at the end of every round and I'll work some more of them in. I mean, no promises because, ugh, I just want to crochet. Okay, let's see. What am I doing? I'm on to set up round 10. So it actually says slip stitch in the next 4 stitches. And so I'm going to be starting, I'm going to do this a little differently than what the pattern says also. I'm going to put this is going to be a point. Okay. And then it's going to go 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to do skip 3s here instead of what the pattern says, which is skip 4 and then skip 2. I'm going to do skip 3. What's my next color in the sequence? It's this rose, dark rose color. Is this an end? What am I pulling on here? Where's the end? Okay, so I'm going to count up 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to do a double crochet 3 together right here. 1, 2, 3, and then pull them all together. And I'm going to mark it. And then 3, 3, 3 in the peak. 1, 2, 3, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. How my ends stand the test of time. To be honest, I couldn't believe it because I've never seen any of anything that I've made like after that much time has gone by. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm doing this a little bit differently than what the pattern says to do, okay? Thanks for following. If you want the real tutorial, it's on my YouTube, but I'm just making creative adaptations. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Do you see what's happening here? This is going to be a new peak. This is the original peak. This is going to be a new peak, and this is going to be a new dip. Okay, so this is going to be where it comes in. This is how the superstar is constructed. Okay, we're adding a new point in the dip. One, 2, 3, double crochet 3 together. How have you been, Peta? Are you still here? Okay. There's going to be a peak and a dip, a peak and a dip, a peak and a dip, peak. Okay. So that's how we're going to end up with 14 peaks and valleys. It's the superstar. Waiting for Puzzle to be finished at the groomers. Okay. Is that the puppy's name? That's your son's dog, right? And how's Amaranth doing? Amaranth. She always would come and say hello to me when we were on our calls. You know, everybody's pets do that too. Whoever I'm on a call with, they all come to say hello. I'm really wanting to get a dog again. Like, I'm ready. Oh no, Peta. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. Oh. She was the loveliest cat. Oh, poor Amaran. I'm so sorry. It just breaks your heart when you have to let them go, doesn't it? Oh gosh. She's such a good buddy to you. I remember when all my pets left me and you were like, get yourself a cat. They're the best companions. She went downhill so quickly and just like, oh, yeah, I do. Honestly, like I've had to put several dogs down, and I had one, that died on me like that suddenly, and that was the hardest. That was the worst when you're not expecting it. I'm so sorry. Oh, bless her heart. Oh, darn it. What am I doing? I'm supposed to be doing a double crochet 3 together. I had seen your post where you said she was blind or blind in one eye. Something had happened to her eye. But I didn't know you had to put her down. I'm so sorry. Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Oh, goodness. Let me go back. I want to tighten that up a little bit. Final month was a lot. Amputation and then retina detachment. Oh, goodness. Oh, for heaven's sake. Bless her heart. Oh, poor thing. I'm so sorry. Stormy's World says, I weaved my ends on the first scrap blanket I did for my grandpa. My mom and my aunts and uncles gave it back to me when he passed. I still have it 44 years later and it's still intact. Yep. Guy and I are likely going to have her paw prints tattooed on our thighs to remember her. I still don't have a paw print from Mudkip. I took his paw prints after he passed. I got a really good paw print from him. But I never did get the tattoo because I had all that surgery on my skin, and then I was kind of afraid to do it after that. But I've been really missing him lately. The other day I was just feeling bad, and I hadn't felt that bad in a really long time. And I thought, my friend said, "What could you do to feel better?" And I thought, I wish my dogs were here. Um, and that's when I started thinking, like, oh, I really want to get a dog again. She would make Guy move his crochet from his left so she could sit there with him every time. She was a creature of habit, was she not? Like, remember when we used to do our calls, and every time she would come in when she heard me. My Kip used to do stuff like that. He would, of course, like to sit on whatever I was working on. And if it was like a big blanket or something, I would, until it got really big where you can just flip it without flipping the whole thing. But I would like have to kick him off the blanket, and he'd stand on the couch next to me, and he would wait for me to flip it over and get it all settled again. And then I'd say, okay. And then he'd come back and he would lay down. Man, I loved that dog. Just broke me when he died. It just broke me. It was just the straw on the camel's back of an otherwise crappy year. 2020, man. Our pets really know how to love. They really show you how to love. Okay, so at the end of this row, you're supposed to do a slip stitch, but I'm weaving it in. Okay, that's how I'm doing it. It's nice to know you're crocheting again. Are you working on any shows? Oh, you will. Maybe do a little fostering through your cat rescue. I was doing that before I moved, and I had a really sweet kitten that I really wish I could have kept. That way you can kind of learn their temperament, you know. Sometimes when I'm weaving in, if I see something like really loose like that, I'll tighten it up. Or I'll like work a little stitch through it just in case. Just to give it a little more stability. We've just closed Frozen Junior and then helped in SpongeBob SquarePants. Do you know, I never posted about this either. I had somebody, oh, thank you. Wow. My sister just sent me 10 shells. Yeah. Um, I, somebody, messaged me on Instagram a few months ago and said that they used the star blanket, the star shawl pattern for Patrick Starr's cape at the end of the show. Yeah, Spring Awakenings. Isn't there nudity in that? Or a scene, a dirty scene? I seem to remember there being like a very dirty scene. Yeah, they sent me a photo of it. It was really cute. Big 6-day star shawl. She said the whole cast was fighting over who was going to get to keep it when it was over. Weave as you go. This is something I almost never do because what if I have to rip it out? If I have to rip it out, I'm going to be crying. I'm going to be crying real tears. So it's curling a little bit, but I think it's going to be okay. I'm using a ginormous hook. Start up around 11. The white is next. See, I can't even tell where I started the round now. Okay, so now this round is going to be pretty simple. There's going to be a double crochet 3 together in each of these spaces and a 3 3 3 in each of these spaces. Okay, so this is going to be a new dip. So I'm going to do a 3. It's going to be just like this down here. Double crochet 3 together and then 2 double crochet. Double crochet 3 together and then 2. And then 3 3 3. That's how this is going to work. See, I knew I was going to catch the Aussies at this time. It's just gone midday here. I love the way y'all talk. Whoops. Thanks for the rose. Okay, so this is the new dip right here. Double crochet 3 together and 1 on each side of it, and then 3, 3, 3 in each peak. That's all this round is. Seems to, this pattern seems to throw people off. This one's a little harder for people to understand, but I don't get as many angry comments as I used to before I had a video for it. I did a really great workshop on Saturday learning Hapazome, a Japanese natural dyeing technique. Oh, wow. And what kind of things were you dyeing? This might need a good stretch once it's all done. Little wet block. Use natural fiber that's been sized and ready to take up dye. So we were using calico. Well, that's cool. Then you lay leaves and flowers down, cover them with something absorbent, and bash with a hammer. Bash with a hammer? Now that sounds therapeutic. I love a good bashing. I'll bet. That sounds really cool. Sounds really fun. Daisies, nasturtium leaves, geranium petals, charred leaf, and stalk, etc. Oh, wow. I haven't had any knots in this round. It's awesome. Almost there. Whoops. Now this is curling a tiny bit, but I really don't think it's, you bumped yourself out. I really don't think it's enough to go up another hook size. I don't want to loosen up my tension any more than it already is. This hook feels ginormous. So, I don't know. I may be frogging. Who knows? But I'm just going to keep going with this hook. This, the 6-day kid blanket pattern, the rows have a way of like these granny rows kind of gather the stitches in, and then the double crochet rows kind of splay. So with just this amount of curling, I think it's fine. You can see how the rest of it's laying flat, right? It's not like it's like a bowl. All right, so don't overthink or overcorrect. I am on setup round 11. This is the 6-day superstar. It's made up entirely of 3-3-3 in the peak and double crochet 3 together the entire round. It's just like this round down here. There's just more points now. So I could have said repeat setup round 4. It's just exactly like round 4. Setup round 4. Cindy says, oh, okay, I'm lost on the regular star. What row are you on the regular star? What seems to be the problem? I mean, there's no reason to remain lost. I have a Facebook group where you can get help, and I have videos. So I can definitely help you. Second set of round 4, my count is off. So if your count is off on round 4, that's a single crochet round, then you probably made a mistake at the join. It's a very common place for mistakes to be made. If you when you join with a slip stitch and then you chain up and then you single crochet again, you should mark the single crochet so that when you come back around, you don't join to the slip stitch and you don't join to the chain up and create extra stitches. That's probably what you're doing. It's a very common mistake, and I demonstrate it in my videos, in the tutorial videos. So you can go on YouTube and watch my tutorials. And if you catch me working live, you know, I usually stop and point it out on my lives. You're welcome. And if that's not it, then post a photo in the Facebook group and we'll help you out over there. And the nice thing about the Facebook group is I have Australians that moderate for me, and they're wonderful people, and they will answer your questions when I'm asleep and not available. And I mean, there's 25,000 people in there. Somebody will answer your question. There's a lot of people that have made a lot of blankets. Thanks for sharing the live. Appreciate it. You know, even if you just click the share button and copy the link, it counts as a share. The algorithm will still push it out. You'll get it. Don't worry. Don't stress. The second most common mistake I would say is overthinking and overstressing. You will get it. Oops. We will help you. By the way, Outer Banks Crochet is my other account. I'm going to do my beach crochet lives from that account once I get up to 1,000 over there. Outer Banks Crochet. Okay, so Cindy, I'm going to do round 4 next. So I am changing colors every row, so it's going to be a little bit different than what you're doing if you're continuing, if you're working continuously. Okay, but I'll just show you what happens. This row starts off with a slip stitch, a chain up, and then a single crochet in the same space. Okay, see how I have this loop and then this loop. Only this one is the stitch. So, and if you have a slip stitch, you'll have another one. Okay, so mark it. And the stitch that you mark is not the one on your hook, it's the one you just made. So mark the one you just made. Okay, and then you're going to do your single crochet around. Okay, at 3 in the peak. I don't know what the counts are because I just have it memorized, so let me see if it says on the pattern. Round 4. Join with a slip stitch. You should have 8 single crochet between the chain 3 peaks is what it says. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now let's think about it. There's 3 stitches here. There's 3 stitches here. That's 6. And then there's this one and this one. That's 2. All right. So the double crochet 3 together is only going to be 1. Now, if you made a mistake and did 3 double crochet instead of double crochet 3 together, you're going to have 6 additional stitches here. So that is a mistake that I've seen people make, is that they see double crochet 3 together and they think that means 3 double crochet in the same space, but it doesn't. It's a cluster. So the stitch is described in detail in the beginning of the pattern. Double crochet 3 together. All right, that is not 3 double crochet in the same space. Always read through the entire pattern before you start. Everybody wants to jump right in, but always read the entire pattern before you start. And even if you don't take it all in, just read it. And then when something comes up that you don't really quite understand, then, your brain may kick in and say, I feel like I read something about this elsewhere in the pattern. Yeah, double crochet 3 together is a cluster stitch. It does not mean make 3 double crochets together in the same place. And don't assume. If you don't know what something means, look it up. Check the pattern. Special stitches and abbreviations should always be described in the beginning of the pattern. Part of the problem is people say, I can't read patterns. I think a big part of the reason why people can't read patterns is because there are a lot of pattern writers out there that just make up words and make up abbreviations for stuff. They don't use standard. Once you learn how to read patterns, you're going to be able to do so much more. I mean, if you don't read patterns and you only work off of videos, you're really going to be stuck at a certain level of crochet. If you want to advance your skills, then learn how to read patterns. And a lot of people have told me, well, here's PETA. Betty's patterns are great for learning. Yeah. I've had a few people in my group that said they didn't know how to read patterns, but they did my pattern along with my videos and they learned a lot. And I learn a lot too from people coming to me with the questions. I learn like what confuses people, how can I say this in a way that people will understand without loading the pattern down with like so much instruction that it's next to impossible to read. Goodness, this purple is pretty. Good night. I'm starting to feel tired. You think these colors are me? Maybe the purple and the green together. I guess that is me. Ooh, single crochet round goes by fast. Thanks for all the gifts. Appreciate it. Yay, I didn't have an extra knot in that round either. Woohoo! Are you using different weights on this? I can't tell for sure. No way. It won't. Yeah, I don't recommend it. If you're using scraps, make sure they're all the same weight. This is all 5-weight yarn from the Karen Ogo Colorama line, which is now discontinued. And I had a ton of them that I bought specifically for this project. But I only wanted some of the colors, so I did some deconstructing, and then I had enough other colors that were included in them that I didn't want for this to make like probably three more blankets. I had so many of them because I bought the Ogos that had this green in them. Was a bunch of blues and greens, but that was the only color I wanted out of it. So I bought a ton of them. They went on clearance at one point for like, I don't know, they were like $1.97 or less, and then there was a coupon, or they were they went down to nothing. So I bought every one they had at the store, just so I would have enough of this green, because I only had a tiny bit of it when I first started. And now I have all the extra blue and green yarn that was on those Ogos, or whatever the heck they were called. So there's a creator on here that does this Stash Bust September trend. And so I thought, well, this would be a good time to do that. Do my stash bust with those Ogos. I mean, as a designer, I can't work on discontinued yarn, because if I put a photo of this blanket on my site or on social media, the first thing everybody's going to say is, what yarn did that you use? And they're asking that question because they want to go get some for themselves, and it's not available. I have a pattern that I did based on that Lion brand mandala tweed yarn. You can't get it anymore. I have a whole pattern for that, specifically for that yarn, and it no longer exists. So yeah, I can't with these companies that keep discontinuing their yarn all the time. And this isn't bad yarn. I really like it, but I would buy it if it was just by itself, not in an OGO, not in a whatever. But I don't know if they're going to bring back the actual yarn or if that's it. But we know that the OGOs are gone and done. So, like, I got a whole OGO graveyard here. I'm going to use them up, and that'll be the end of that. Okay. Round 5. What comes after light purple? Dark purple. Let's do this. Okay, it starts right here. So frustrating, and then they have specific yarn in specific markets too. I know, right? Okay, I can take this out. And then at the beginning of the round, it's 1, 2, 3. We still have the original Caron cotton cakes in Australia that they haven't had for you. Oh my goodness. Wow, I had a bunch of those stashed, and I got rid of them. I'm not a big one for cotton, but Caron keeps coming out with these different cakes. Blossom cakes, latte cakes, macchiato cakes, tea cakes. Just give us the same ones and leave it at that. Quit switching it up. It's like, it reminds me of those like Beanie Babies. It's like, it makes you collect the yarn, makes you want to collect the yarn. 1, 2, whoops, 3, 4. Now, do you see any more of that curling? No, it's gone. It's fine. And now skip 2. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it 4 or is it 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's supposed to be 4. What did I do with the pattern? Oh, I guess I closed it up. I'm starting to make mistakes. This is probably should be the last. I should start wrapping it up here. That purple is pretty. Yes, it is, isn't it? Chain 3, 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 5 in the peak, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip 2. I think this really is 2, but I think it has the appearance of an extra one because that's where I joined it. So it should be 4. 1, 2, 3. That's a sign that bed is calling. You got that right. When I can't count anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did a whole repeat. And then you know you're at the ready to skip when you hit this last double crochet coming down from the peak, lands right between these last 2 double crochet of those 3 double crochet. Transition from 7 to 14 peaks. That's right. And this row is a little funky to read in the pattern because I wanted it to be, I like my patterns to be concise. So I didn't want to have to rewrite every round. So this first round is like, it says repeat until such and such, but on the first time, there's no repeat. You're already there. But it says repeat until. And without repeating on the first round, you're already there. So it is confusing. I think I added a note when I updated the patterns a couple years ago about that because I don't get as many questions about it like I used to. The thing I like about, so after this, now that we've transitioned to 14 peaks, now it'll just be repetitive from here. And the thing that I like about this is that because there's so many points going around, these points never get that big. So it's not like the star blanket where you end up having like 47 double crochet, going up and down the side. I don't know if that's the right number or not, so don't quote me. Somebody will be like, you said there was 47 10 years from now. Watch this. Yeah, it's these points, the points never really get that big. It's more circular than star shaped. I remember when I was 11th billion. Yeah, it's like all these double crochets going. I get so bored. But it does look really cool. I remember when I was designing this and I really thought this particular version was stupid. I don't know why. I don't know why I think this way about my work, but I was like, this one's dumb, but I don't know. I think people might like it. And now it's my favorite. This is my favorite of the star blankets to make. It's so pretty. That green one with the Karen cakes behind me is the first one I ever made. I still love it. I'm about halfway around. It gets big really quick. Patiently waiting in the groomers is getting ridiculous. He's been here for 2.5 hours so far. Is he okay? Is he acting up? Or was there was there a line? Are they crowded today? In the heck? I remember taking Mochi to the groomers. I don't know why we had such a hard time grooming him. I think he was just a pretty boy and I wanted him to look nice. He's overdue. Ethan went away with him interstate kind of urgently, so he's missed out. They were very remote where he went with no groomers available. Okay. Does he have mats? I don't know if you have Bindi eye prickles there, but he's got those. Picked it about. Oh. Hi, Ivan. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm really loving how this one is looking. I just love it. Skip 2 in the valley, 4 going up the sides, and 5 in the peak. That's how this row goes. The yarn is Karen Ogo Colorama, and I've deconstructed 5 or 6 different colorways to pick and choose the colors that I wanted. And this is a 9mm hook. And this is the 6-day superstar, and I am on round, I've completed the setup rows, and I'm on round 5. And this is my day 2 completion. I don't know if let's see. I made like a poll, but I don't know how to post it. I made a poll with like frequently asked answers in it, but I think I have to post that. It's so nice when the setup rounds are done, and then you can just fly along. Look at me go all the way back around to the beginning of the round. I'm weaving as I go because I just had an excessive amount of ends and it was kind of upsetting me. And I knew if it was giving me anxiety, it would give other people anxiety. So I've just been doing some weaving at the end of every round. I deconstructed self-striping yarn. So some of the sections of yarn that I had were just really short, and it also had some knots. So that is why I have so many ends sticking out. And I don't use magic knot or tie knots or, do anything like that. Unless the only time I really tie a knot is to do a slip knot or in an emergency. Meaning the blanket was damaged and there is not enough yarn to secure the work, in which case I will tie a knot. And typically when I weave in, I go underneath the stitches and then I try to reverse the direction of the yarn and go back the other way, and that will keep it from when you stretch the blanket and then the end will start to poke out. That'll keep that from happening so much, and it'll also changing directions really secures the work. So I don't just work under the stitch, but I work under like that thread from the row below, and I just try and hide it. I go under the, I try and work into the matching color. I think my yarn my weaving in is pretty unnoticeable, and I've had to take apart my own work before after I've woven in ends, and it is a royal pain in the butt, man. My ends are secure AF. Here's another way I like to do it. Go in and out of the tops of these stitches and then down. I don't honestly know where I learned how to do it like this either. I feel like it's more intuition than anything else. Okay. Look at all that. Okay, let me find my... Ooh, there's more ends on this side. There's my day 1 mark. So let me put the little heart clip on for day 2. Trying to mark my days, because people, it is called the 6-day blanket, so people do like to know what happened on day 1, day 2, day 3, etc. Look at that, man. I am proud of this. I am proud of this blanket. Look at what I made. Woohoo! I feel so good about it. It is reversible. I'm working on both sides. I'm flipping it at every row 5. All right, my friends. I'm super tired. That's going to be it for me tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out and crocheting with me. I will see you again. Always pause and show gratitude for what you've accomplished. Pour that into the work regularly, for sure. Lay it down and admire it. I admire this a lot. I admire this a lot. I like this a lot. All right, friends. Have a wonderful night.